a focus on his craft, a focus on racing that was remarkable in any era. And it wasn't just that. He won in 2001, he defended his title in 2002, something that does not happen often. But I think it is probably, Tim is, and his winning is probably best remembered for 2001, when his victory, the last victory by an American male, took place just weeks after 9/11, at a time of extraordinary uncertainty and doubt in our country. And for many of us who love Ironman and are members of our Ohana, to see an American carrying our flag down Alii Drive just weeks after the events in New York City, Washington, and Pennsylvania was something that we really needed. So for the symbolic value and an extraordinary level of accomplishment and professionalism in our sport, I would like all of you to put your hands together for our inductee, Tim DeBoom.
Good evening, everybody. It's really special to be here. I am honored beyond what I can even say. Congratulations to the other inductees tonight, McKelly. It's been great. When I got the call that I was going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, it was from Mike Riley. And I had been out on my mountain bike riding. I got home and I had a message from him. And I called him back and he gave me the news, and it just seemed so appropriate that he was calling me and giving me the news. He had called me home to the finish line so many times here, and it was nice to get a call to another finish line, to this one, and it was really great. But the memories I have of this island and this race, I can't even explain it. My first race was in 1992. I was a young college student that didn't know anything about it really, and my last race was in 2010, and I was probably an old over-the-hill pro a little bit who didn't know too much about it. But I know that I'm remembered for a couple years in there, and I like to think of it as like a 4-year run where in 1999, most people don't know that I'd kind of given myself an ultimatum where I was either going to improve on the couple of 10th place finishes that I had, or I was going to find another job. And I happened to get third that year and kind of broke through to a new level, which was nice, and I was able to keep racing, which was good. And then in 2000, I found myself in a hard-fought battle with my friend Peter Reed, and unfortunately I came on the losing end of that battle and got second place. But that second place changed me, and it fueled me, and the people around me knew that it fueled me. I was a little angrier for a full year training for 2001, and I thought 2001 was going to be my year. And it didn't start out that way. I went to Ironman Australia, and that race was over before I knew it because I overheated in the swim, and I thought, boy, this year is not starting out the way I want it to. And I bounced back from that and did Ironman California when it was a full Ironman, and had one of my most memorable races there. I got to race 8 hours head-to-head with my brother, and that was something we had dreamed about in training, and luckily I walked away with victory there and held on to the family bragging rights. And that kind of set me up for my summer of training to come over here in 2001 and really attempt to win a race that you don't know you can win until you actually do it. And my training was perfect. It had gone great, and I couldn't think of anything that was going to go wrong. And I was ready to get on a plane and go to California and finish my training and taper down and come over here. And boom, 9/11 happened, and it kind of changed everything. My wife and I sat on the couch for 2 days watching things unravel, and I felt selfish and guilty even thinking about racing and what was going to happen. And it took a while to get our heads around that maybe we would still race. But we eventually, decided we were going to go to California and finish the training and see what was going to happen. But we weren't going to get on a plane. We we got in the car, we packed up the car, we drove to California. It was probably the best thing we could have done was drive across our country and just connect a little bit, and gave me a little extra rest. And we got to California and things cleared up a little bit. We realized the race was going to happen, and I went to Kona, flew in, and things were very different for me that year. I was much more calm when I landed on the island. It was very familiar to me here. I seemed to know every rise and ripple of the Queen K Highway every time I went out there, and we'd sit around at night and the right movies would come on, and we'd get in the car and the right songs would come on, and I just kept saying to myself, this has to be a good sign. And it turned out they were all really good signs. On the day of the race, I have what I like to call magic legs, and they don't usually come around on the day that you need them to be there. Usually it's some random Tuesday in the off season where you feel great, but they were there on that day, and I was stronger than I'd ever felt. On that run, I just was able to push the entire time to the finish line, and I have to admit, I have to brag that yes, it is that good running down a Leahy Drive in first place with an American flag in your hand and the crowd chanting USA. It's what dreams are made of. But like any athlete who wins something, they get greedy and they come back the next year and they want more. So I came back in 2002 and magic legs weren't quite there. They were still good, but I found myself in another ding-dong battle with Peter Reed, a good friend, a rival, and this time I came out on top, and I was really, really proud of that. I know I get a lot of recognition for 2001, but coming to the island as a returning champion and then leaving again as a champion is one of those things that I'm proud of as an accomplishment. And that was a very satisfying win for me. And I know those 2 years are the reason that I'm up here tonight, most likely. But I know that I'm not up here by myself. Like McKeely said, it takes a village. And the first note of congrats I got when it was announced I was coming in here was from Peter Reed. He sent me a note and he said, "Hey, congrats, Tim. We did it." And he couldn't have said it better. He was inducted a few years ago, and the "we did it," it just means so much, because nobody crosses that finish line by themselves. And my family and my friends, they were the ones that were there through the good, the bad, and a lot of the ugly. They knew the dedication, the discipline, and the sacrifices that it took to get there, and they supported me through that. So I have to thank them. And there's too many people to even begin to thank, except for my wife, Nicole. She's out there somewhere, but you are my rock. I've said it tons, and I wouldn't be up here without you, so thank you. And then it's just an honor to be up here and know that the other names on this list, the other athletes, it's a little surreal for me. I don't honestly feel like I fit in, but I'm so proud to be a part of that. And being inducted tonight is just a true honor. And it's actually really good timing. I appreciate it, because my daughter is here tonight, and it's her first time on the island. And she started asking me questions lately. What did you do again, Dad? What have you done? And so I've been able to explain a little bit. I said, hey, I did this race a bunch of times, and I actually won it a couple times. And she gets this look on her face, and she's like, Dad, you know what I want to do when I grow up? And my heart leapt a little bit. I was like, maybe she wants to do an Ironman someday. Without missing a beat, she says, I want to win 3 world titles, Dad. So I thought this might be a good time. Wilder DeBoom. I'm going to introduce you to your Ironman family here. Ironman family, I'm going to introduce you to Wilder DeBoom. You may see some more of her again someday, so look out. But thank you, everybody. I really appreciate it.
If Wilder understood what pressure was, she would feel it right now. But she just doesn't.